Hey yo, fellowship is what up? Welcome to the fellowship hall with the twins and Ralph. I am Ralph and I'm back with my fellas. Twin number one Keith and twin number two Ken. Holla at the people.
What's up, fellowship? It's your boy Ken. Thanks for joining us in the fellowship hall today.
What's going on, fellowshippers? It's me, Keith, moderator. You know me, I know you. Let's kick it off. So sorry we've been away for a while, but we're back and we're better than ever, if we want to say. So what we're gonna do today is our first time doing a podcast on this show, but we've been watching this show from the beginning, and we
From the
hope you
beginning.
love it like we love it. That show is none other than The Shy, season 4. So we're going to let you know what we think about this show. The writing. We compare it to some of the other shows we used to watch in the past, and we'll give you our take on this week's show. And go to the comments, commune with us, let us know what you think, and we'll get back at you. So usually we kick it off with the reactions, but today I think The Shy is a little. It's not so different, but it is different because it's got a lot of stories going on. So I'm gonna give a quick recap of some of the things that went on the show today, not in any specific order, but we're gonna try to touch on them and maybe more or maybe less. But we're gonna give you a quick recap of the show. First, the show starts out with Kev getting caught climbing out of Gemma's apartment or house, and then going back in trying to be smooth. Of course, the dad catches him, but he didn't mention it.
Which
Next,
makes
Emmett.
no sense.
Yeah, well, I wait. Let's wait for the reactions, Ken. Next, we got our boy Emmett. He doing this crazy, I don't know, love. I don't want to say square. I'm gonna say quadrilateral. With his dad, Tiff, and Dom, that's kind of going crazy right now. So we gotta see what happens with that. Although I feel like Emmett is not as smooth as I feel like he should be. He's sweating too much. But anyway, Keisha's still pregnant. We know what happened last season, so Keisha's pregnant, but she's looking for a family to take care of this child of hers. And not only is she just looking for a family to offload, she's looking for a good family. She sensed some tension with the family that she was talking to, and she kind of had some second thoughts about them, and it seemed like that she was right, and looks like they're gonna have to pass, at least for now. The mom coming back and talking to her, that kind of maybe is some foreshadowing about what could happen next. Kev tells Gemma he loves her later on in the day, so that's a big step for this young man. Apparently, it was the first time for him to tell her that. And then Kev and Jake go to some basketball game where Jake takes off his clothes from his school uniform and puts on his regular clothes or clothes he feels comfortable with. And of course, unfortunately, he gets into an altercation with some cat on the court or on the way to the court, and then the police get involved. So we'll dive into that, I'm sure, deeper. And lastly, Jake's brother Trig is out for revenge, and Dudar comes in, who's now the mayor, and tries to tell Trig to calm down. He's gonna take care of it. Sometimes he shows his politician side, sometimes he shows his thug side. And this black cop that was outside was weak as water. But anyway,
A
so
lot of them are
Trig,
weak, bro. It ain't,
okay.
that's not a bad typecast.
Okay, I'm saying, but based on the situation that Trig punks him and Duda punks him, and he bags down immediately, I'm not sure if that's so realistic. But nevertheless, we'll get into that maybe. And lastly, the show ends with Trig getting his revenge on this cop, which I'm sure most of us was pretty happy with. But we'll try to dive into as much as we can, as quick as we can, and let you know what we think, and then you let us know what you think. So Big Ham, go ahead and kick us off.
Hey man, it was I thought it was a great kickoff episode. I like how they went ahead and got all of the stories that they're going to talk about this season out. You know what I'm saying? So you know, they put
In
all
the
of them
flash
forward.
forward, in the flash forward, you mean?
Well, no, not in the flash forward. I just mean like
The
throughout the
regular
show. We
episode.
saw
Just
what
the regular
we
episode of
saw
the
what's
show.
going to be popping with Kev. We
Okay,
saw
okay.
what's going to be happening with with I'm sorry, man. What's Kev's sister name?
Keisha.
Keisha.
Keisha. Yeah, with Keisha again. We saw the story
Hmm.
that's going to be transpired with Duda and my man and from the young lady from the first season whose son got killed. I can't remember her name. What
Jada.
Tracy.
was her name?
Oh,
Tracy.
Tracy.
I'm sorry, Tracy.
Tracy. Yeah,
Jada's
yeah.
Emmett mom.
We
Yes, I
see
mean.
that, and then we see the situation with Emmett and his father going with Dominique and him worried about her spilling the beans to Tiff about what happened between them. And then we have the Jake Duda Tree situation going on. So we
Right.
saw all those stories. They put them all out there.
Yeah.
I was kind of conflicted with how I felt about the police brutality story because it's to me, even though it needs to be put out there in some situations, it just like it's overkill. It's like
Bingo.
every movie now, every show that got black people in it, there's something going on with it. Every book. You know what I'm saying? I just read the final Eric Jerome Dickey book I'll ever read. Eric Jerome Dickey. And there was
Edgar
some
Jones passed away. Yeah.
yeah, he passed away. But I just read that book, and even in that book, it was some police brutality stuff going on. So it's like it's getting to be overkill. We can't get away from it everywhere it is. But
Big
it looks
Ham,
like it's going to be
let me
a big
interrupt you
part.
because I was gonna say this for my reaction, but since you brought it up, I don't want to forget it, and I'll say it briefly. But you hit the nail on the head with the police brutality. Obviously, we
Of
know that's a
course.
problem in America, and especially against minorities and people of color and whatnot. But I felt like for the first time in a while that was a little bit of lazy writing because they were like, "Hey, let's make this a story." When they probably could have did something else. Like you said, it's a little overused or overkill to a degree. Obviously, we know it's reality, but we see it everywhere. So to see it on the show a little bit felt a little lazy to me. But I mean, I thought it was handled well in the show, but I still felt like that they probably could have came up with some fresh other idea, especially to kick the season off. This is a season opener, and then they throw it in your face immediately. So I don't know. That felt a little lazy writing to me, just a little bit.
And then on top of that, I was like, this kid, man, just go ahead and give the cop your ID, son. You're a
Yeah.
child. Like you shouldn't be talking back to adults anyway, even though
Hmm.
we know how cops are. Get that cop your ID. You just got into about to get to fighting with somebody.
Right.
Get that cop your ID. Let him look at it and let him give his little word of admonition to you and move on. But
Exactly.
um, but that's the one good thing about it because even though we know that brutality and profiling happens, a lot of those cases still involve um, some sort of disconnect, where there's some sort of uh, where these people are not. I hate to say complying because the training the training should be a bigger issue than complying, but
Right.
there's
Yeah.
always a element of non-compliance in some of this stuff, and which sucks because there's a lot of time where brutality just happens where
For no
compliance
reason.
happens,
Right.
and then
So Big
sometimes
Ham.
brutality happens where compliance is not warranted, right?
Yeah.
So that just
Right.
kind of it just kind of sucks. So, but
So let me say
that
this
was
real
that.
quick, Big Ham, based on what you were saying, because you were trying to avoid saying that be compliant. But and what I was going to chime in and just say is, in some cases, you as the one that's potentially about to be wrong, you have an opportunity to de-escalate the situation, and that's what I wanted to
De-escalation
say.
is a good
Yeah, if
word.
you could
De-escalation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
de-escalate it by just go ahead and showing the ID or whatever, and even if it is wrong, man, sometimes you can just go ahead and be the bigger person and help de-escalate the situation. And I think
right,
that's what you were getting at.
right, exactly. Because I've been in that situation myself, to where
Hmm.
I've had my rights infringed upon, and I had to unwillingly comply every time just to make sure that I get back home to my family safe.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
sometimes what we have to do, man. And
Yep.
I think there was just one situation where I got a little bit upset and I didn't comply. But in most situations, you need to do the right thing to make sure that you get home safe. But yeah, I'm kind of conflicted on that. But it's good that it's out there, and now we can deal with that storyline.
Yeah.
Also, I I love the storyline of my boy Papa. Him and Maisha still being together. He just whenever I see them on screen, I just start smiling. So I like that too. But I'm wondering where they're going with the Tracy and Duda thing because she's been kind of like mildly used on the show. She's a beautiful woman. She's been mildly used on the show, so I'm wondering like what's the angle there with Duda and her? Like why all of a sudden they're taking an interest in
All of a
her this
sudden.
time?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
but it was a good show. It was a good opener. There was one thing I hated about it, and I'll come to that later when we get to my love hate mid section.
Okay. Well, thanks.
Nice.
Thanks for that interaction, Rev. Go ahead. Go ahead. More compass.
Yeah, I think honestly, Big Ham hit a lot on the head, and you guys jumped on the whole police brutality item being kind of shoved down our throats or forced or whatnot. But it didn't bother
In this
me that
case,
much. Yeah, oh yeah, in this case, it didn't bother me that much. I didn't mind seeing it in the episode. But when you said it was a little bit of poor writing, the way I felt it was poor writing
lazy,
because lazy. I'm
lazy
sorry,
writing.
lazy writing because why did Jake get singled out? It was two kids in the situation, and the other boy was the one that was initiating the altercation, but the cops only focused on Jake. And to me, that was lazy.
The
Um,
dreads.
yeah, you think
Jake
so?
Jake was
Yeah,
more
that's
vocal
that's
for
that's
sure.
the other part of it.
They were
That's the
both
other part.
talking,
Like
man.
those dreads are still seen as stereotypical thing
Mm.
amongst those elites and authoritative. So it probably was the dreads is why they single takeout.
If you say so, man, I guess I can't say yay or nay, but still, to me, I was just like, it makes no sense to me why Jake is the only one being singled out when it was another dude, 10 feet away or whatever, that the cop could have said something to
And
also.
and and Jenkins main cast.
Yeah,
Obviously,
obviously that's the
obviously,
reason, but I
obviously,
understand
but
Ken's
It's
point
yeah.
probably
though.
more so that than the dreads.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was okay. I at the beginning of the movie with Kev and his girl and him jumping out of Gemma, he jumping out of the window and the dad seeing it and rewinding and pausing and everything. So there was no point for them to show us his dad seeing him on camera if his dad wasn't going to address the situation when he came in the house. And obviously, it takes two to tango.
It does.
So he should have addressed it with one of them. He's not Kev's dad, so if he chose not to say something to Kev, he should have said something to Jim about it. So,
But
you
maybe
guys,
maybe maybe it was to show that, hey, Kev think he's getting over, or hey, Kev thinks he's smarter than he really is, but in actuality, sometimes you're not, or somebody know what's going on.
he looked at the
I
camera
don't
when he
know
got
if
to the
his
door.
ass is gonna see a little dude jump out of his window. And he spent the night in his daughter's room.
And he don't
With the
say nothing.
insinuation that he been knocking your daughter down all night, and
Settle
then he
down.
walked right back in your house and he ain't gonna say nothing.
Hmm.
It's
To
somebody.
me, that made no sense. Keisha and the whole pregnancy and stuff, I'm fine with that. Her deciding to keep the baby last season and then but wanting to give the baby up for adoption, I'm perfectly fine with that. I thought it was odd, how
Keep
the
the baby
man.
alive, maybe. Maybe keep the baby alive
Yeah,
last season.
yeah,
Yeah.
not abort
Yeah.
the baby and
Yeah,
then but
right.
then give the baby up for adoption.
Right.
And I thought it was odd how the husband and the wife were kind of you know well, mostly the husband was kind of making those little snide passive aggressive comments and stuff to the wife.
Yeah, because of the
And
face.
then later on they tried to explain it to her. The lady said they were in the middle of a divorce and he was doing it to help her hopefully get the baby. But I mean, if he was gonna come there and help, why not just be quiet? Why agree to help but still say stuff that could potentially negatively impact the decision? So that didn't make a lot of
Got
sense to me.
gotta remember who the head writer is, man.
Mm,
I guess.
yeah.
Um, but other than that, man, I thought it was fine. I think one thing I'm gonna say that may not be you guys may not jump on is that I'm not really believing Trig as a gangster.
Really?
One thing I wrote down during the show, like when Jake got beat up and everything, and Trig was all mad at the hospital, was I miss Reg.
Mm.
Trig doesn't do it for me, man. I don't. I mean, I'm fine with him, but he doesn't do it for me as like a hardcore gangster. I mean, and I
I
think they're trying to write it that way, but
I
he's
tend
just
to
not
agree
believable
with
to
you,
me.
man. His voice a little too melodic.
Hey, who was he in New Edition?
Yeah, he was. He played Johnny
Yeah,
Gill.
Johnny Gill. Okay, okay.
That's how Luke James, man. He's a great singer.
But other than that, I was happy with the show. I had another kind of dislike about it, but I'm afraid I'm gonna step on Big Ham's toes, so I'll save it for the love, hates, and meds and see how it goes. But yeah,
Okay.
overall, I was excited to see the show. It didn't really let
Yeah.
me down. The whole
Hmm.
Emmett sweating situation is somewhat uncomfortable because he's too nervous about Tiff finding out, and we think she probably will. But other than
Based
that,
on the
it
one
was
month, based on the
right.
1 month flash forward, it seemed like she will.
Right. But other than
He
that, I
gonna
thought it
he
was a
gonna
good
spill the beans
episode.
himself. He gonna tell him himself.
Yeah, probably.
Shake himself.
I'm surprised he didn't do it anyway. All right. Thanks, Ken. Let me go ahead
Yep.
and jump in before y'all do all my reaction as well. So great reaction by both you guys, and basically it hit all my points. Except, and Ken kind of mentioned it, and I kind of spilled it a little bit earlier in the recap, is that Emmett, like for Emmett to be so cool or to be this player that's got all these different girls and baby mamas, obviously he making mistakes, but at the same time he's able to pull these girls. Like he is so uncool under pressure. You know,
Well, I
like
think
hold on. Like Dom is cool, Darnell is cool, Tiff is in
yeah.
the dog right now, and Emmett is there sweating bullets and what y'all talking about? What y'all? That's like, hey, I'm guilty. That's like I'm guilty with that. What y'all talking about constantly? And for Tiff not to pick up on it, I'm a little disappointed in Tiff because it's clearly something that this clown is hiding. So I'm a little disappointed because Emmett now is basically my favorite character on the show as far as the leads. You know, at one time it was Brandon, and then you know whatever happened with Brandon happened, and I think that took the show in a different direction altogether. But nevertheless, it is what it is. So now Emmett has kind of replaced this Brandon role for me. And not saying that Brandon didn't have his faults, but he was my character at the time. So now Emmett has kind of replaced Brandon and has actually, you know, pulled past Brandon at least at that time. And I'm like, oh, cool, Emmett is doing this, but he let me down with this. You know, he got his own little spot now with the cooking and stuff. I'm proud of him, but he's sweating hotter than the cooks in the kitchen. And this last point that you guys didn't touch on, and I'm glad and also a little surprised, is that there was no mention or ever any indication that
Yeah.
this person existed in Ronnie. Ronnie got his life together. He saved Keisha. He got killed stupidly in most of our opinions at the end of last season, and then he is
It's just
not
no
mentioned
mention at
one
all.
time. Tracy is in this show. Tracy's only connection basically was her son and Ronnie. Tracy never says anything about Ronnie. There is no picture of Ronnie. There's no at Ronnie's funeral. We met this person. Is no now. Don't get me wrong. Ronnie probably would have been on my meh or hate list a couple times in the past, but for him to have such a big momentous role last season, and even if that's a send off, that's fine. But not to mention him in this first episode, I was a little surprised and not necessarily disappointed, but I was just like, I feel like they could have did a little bit better.
Was Tracy there? He got shot too.
She was walking
She was
beside him.
there.
He walking
She was
beside
walking
him.
beside him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know how. Yeah, I got you there. But let me go
Yeah.
back to the Emmett thing. I
Mhm.
think the reason why Emmett's so shaky compared to his player past because I think Tiff is the first one that he loved.
He feel bad about it. Yeah.
He actually
This is
loves. So
husband mode Emmett and legit Emmett. That's why.
Yeah.
say that again.
I said
This
this
is
is husband mode Emmett and legit trying to walk the straight and narrow Emmett, and that's why he's so nervous because he know he
Yeah.
messed up big, and that's why.
Yeah. He messed up. All right, fellowship, let's go into the comment section. Let us know what you thought about the recap. If you thought we missed some in the recap, and then let us know what you thought about our reaction. Let us know if we were right, we were off. One of us was better than the other one, probably me, or whatever, and just let us know. Next, we're gonna go into this next section, which I know if you are a follower of the fellowship hall that you should love, and that's our love, hate, and meh. So it's been a minute since we
Meh.
did this one for a show, but we're gonna bring it back. And I think we're going to let Big Ham kick us off with his. What do we want to do? We want to do meh, love, or hate. How we do it? Let's
Love,
get
hate,
the
meh.
order real quick.
Let's
Love,
go
hate,
love
meh.
first.
Yeah, love, hate,
meh.
meh.
All right,
Let's
Big
go
Ham,
love
go
first.
for it. Go for it.
Hey man, my love is Darnell, man. That dude entertains the best out of me with his ratchetness and his triflingness.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he just reminds me of the hood, man. Like it's like I know people just like him, man.
Yeah.
The man where he was lying to his boy, like, I'm on the way.
I'm on my way.
Yep.
Then when he was leaving with the French toast sandwich, he said, I'm on the
I'm
corner,
here.
where you at?
I'm on
Where
the
you
corner.
at?
Where you
Yeah.
at? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the man's new girlfriend just reveals to her that she spazzed his son. He just took it with a grain of salt like it wasn't nothing. Okay, cool.
They were bound to
That's in
happen.
the past.
Then he
That's in
go
the
right to him like, what a take a well, we. And then he tell the man we have a movie night. He just got his son shaky on purpose.
Bring
Then
your soul
he
food.
tell the man we have a movie night and bring a VHS over there. And
In the movie.
then they go to the part of soul food Where it get revealed the old boy was cheating.
Yeah.
Oh man, that dude is entertaining, man. Whenever he comes on the screen,
You know you're
I
gonna
just
laugh.
laugh.
Yeah.
I know it's some foolishness about to happen. So my love is always Darnell.
All right, I ain't mad at that. Honestly, I didn't think about Darnell much for this list this week, but I'm okay with that him being your love. All right, Ken, go
Yeah,
ahead with your
that's
love.
fine. Yeah, my love this week was easy. It's Keisha.
Hmm.
Keisha is trying to do the right thing, and
She
and
is
and even though this baby was conceived out of something horrible,
tragic.
she's still trying to find a good home for the baby and make sure the people that adopt the baby are
Good
appropriate and
people.
going to give the child a good home. And honestly, I suspect that it's going to end up being this lady. But I guess we'll see how the season goes.
Okay, Big Ham
Brad doesn't think
disagrees, but
so.
that's okay.
You should
That's
go
But
okay.
keep that baby, bro.
That's
oh, I guess
possible.
that's another option too. I guess
Hmm.
yeah, maybe we'll see. But yeah, my love is Keisha. She's trying to do the right thing. She's not into any kind of foolishness, at least not yet. So for episode 1 of season 4, I'm going with Keisha as my love.
Nice, nice. And you know what, Ken? I was borderline picking Keisha as my love too because I don't want to take up too much time, but because not only is Keisha like thinking about herself, thinking about the baby and trying to find a good home, but at the same time, I feel like Keisha is the one that's always there to talk to Kevin or talk Kevin into the smart thing or down from something. So Keisha was close to my love for this show, but I'm glad you picked her, so that makes it a little bit easier for me to be okay with my final decision. And my love for this show was Tiff. The reason why is I just like Tiff. I like Tiff. I feel like Tiff
Bias.
is
Like
loyal.
beautiful.
She's beautiful, but I feel like Tiff is loyal to Emmett and loyal to the relationship and loyal to everything that should be right. It's a lot of wrong that happened
She's
to
loyal to the
to
game,
Tiff.
man. She's about her money.
Okay.
I'm
Is
sorry.
Yeah, you should be. But she's right. She's doing right. She hasn't betrayed Emmett. She is doing the right thing, and Emmett is did a wrong, and then leaving her in the dark and looking like a fool in front of everybody is I think still a little bit of wrong. Now, one thing I'm a little disappointed in is like how all of a sudden Tiff and Keisha become best friends, and maybe they're not best friends, but they trying on clothes together. I thought that was a little weird based on their relationship in the past, but nevertheless, it is what it is. Keisha went through something horrible. Maybe Tiff had compassion, which would be another reason why that she could be my love. But that's my love. And now I'm gonna go ahead and go with my hate. My
Hold
hate
on a
for
second. Hold
this.
on a second. Man, I just want to let you know. You said talk about Tiff being loyal. Tiffany has definitely cheated on Emmett before, multiple times.
Oh my
What?
goodness! If it wasn't on the show, and if it was only
Now,
insinuated on
do
the
you
show,
remember that she hooked
when she
Emmett
gave
mama
the
up with the
massage,
masseuse dude
yeah,
that was giving
yeah,
the happy endings?
yeah. She
Okay,
told her about him. That don't mean she
and
got it.
then her weed plug.
She didn't do nothing with
No, she
dude.
didn't mess with him. She
Yeah,
left.
she didn't do nothing with dude.
She left.
She didn't know what dude did, but it was insinuated they had a history before.
Yeah, but she wasn't with Emmett.
Yeah,
We
we
don't
have
know
no
how long she
evidence that
was
she.
or was not with Emmett.
And nor do we know if she was and cheated, right? So that's why I'm
Yeah,
sticking with Tiff. Chill
you're
out,
grasping,
Ralph.
Big Ham. You're
Yeah, you
grasping.
grasping. You grasping. Okay, let me go ahead and give my hate then, Big Ham, if you done with your soliloquy. My hate for this, my hate for this first episode is going to be Rosalind. And if you don't know who she is by name, she is Doodah's wife. I don't really think she needs to be on the show. She adds nothing to me. Her whole interaction with Tracy was, for me, unnecessary and unrealistic. Maybe it's realistic in this political world. I'm not so sure. I'm not in the political world, but I hated it. I guess I'm thinking about maybe from a black woman point of view, being raised by a black woman and growing up around black women. I guess regular, normal black women, but great black women. Get off the show. Get off the show. If she was in our other segments of Gots to Go, she would have been on the Gots to Go list. Honestly, Ken, who you got for your hate?
My hate is something that you alluded to earlier that you admonished Big Ham and me for talking about. And my hate is the way season 3 ended. The killing of Ronnie made absolutely no sense. And it was just ridiculous, horrific,
It made sense,
offensive
but
writing.
it was just not needed, man.
It was
It
unnecessary.
didn't make sense, Big Ham, man. This show them went 3 seasons, almost 4 seasons after Coogie. You know,
Yeah.
forget Coogie.
Yeah.
Brandon gone now.
Yeah.
And this dude just gonna walk up. This is for Coogie, pow, 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 and then or 2 shots actually. I think
Good point.
it made no sense. And at the time, you know, before we were podding, we talked about this, and that was the first thing we said when we talked about this episode was
Why?
killing Ronnie made absolutely no sense. Joker was leaving. It was silly, man. It was lazy writing, and I found it offensive. And then they didn't mention anything about Ronnie in the beginning of this season. And he didn't die in the last episode of the season. I think it was one episode later.
This is the last episode, wasn't
The
it?
last
No, it
episode,
was-
It
last
was.
thing that
I thought
happened.
it was how it ended. Yeah.
No, it was one episode later because remember, Keisha was dealing with going to the funeral and everything, and they were all sad about it. They had a funeral. I'm pretty
I
sure.
remember that.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, y'all guys can
Yeah.
check, but I'm pretty sure it was another episode after that, or it was another episode after that because they had the funeral and they killed Ronnie at the end of the episode before the season finale. But nevertheless, that's what I hate. I hate the fact that they ended the season 3 like that. It was terrible. It made no sense, and
No sense at all.
it just was horrific writing to me. So that's my hate.
So let me get this straight. So, fellowship is. I'm gonna pull you into
Pull 'em
the
in.
fold for one quick
Pull
second.
them in.
Before we do these pods, we try to go over the rules or the flow of the show. And one of the specific questions I asked about this episode was, "Hey, our love, hate, and meh. You know, is it gonna be traditional or can we do things like 2 loves or 2 hates or 2 mehs?" And the moral compass immediately said, "Oh, it's gotta be right. It's gotta be one."
Do I sound like the doc from Back to the Future?
Okay. But I feel like your hate, although valid and I agree with it, is not in the spirit of our love, hate, and meh because it should have been from this episode. What do you think,
Big Ham, is my hate acceptable?
Big Ham, you gonna be the final vote?
His hate is acceptable, even though what part of this episode, his hate is acceptable.
Okay. All right, I guess I'll
We
fall
all
back.
felt that way. We all felt that way
did.
about
We
running
did.
in.
All right, Big Ham, go ahead with your hate.
So Ken's hate was how season 3 ended. My hate is how season 4 began.
Both of you. That's why you was okay with his because yours was gonna be unorthodox too.
I'm okay
Man,
with his.
why open it up and tell us what's going to happen in the season, man?
Mm-hmm.
Let us be surprised. Let
Right.
us ride the wave. Let us go to roller coasters. Don't tell us what. So we already know Dude gonna get shot.
Yep.
We know Jake gonna kiss Kev girl.
Yep.
We know Tiff gonna find out about Emmett.
We know
Like, why
she's
we-
gonna have
like-
the baby in a pool.
Right.
Yeah, she gonna have baby wheel, but we still don't know whether she gonna keep it or not. But we know she gonna have the natural childbirth.
Right.
I don't want to know all this yet. Like,
Yep.
don't give us all. You give us one. Like the last season, Insecure. They let us know Molly and Issa was gonna fall out.
Mm-hmm.
They gave us one thing. It was like, dang, Molly and Issa gonna fall out. What's gonna happen? Then he gave us the whole thing, man.
Yep.
Hey,
So I didn't like that, man. I want some suspense. I want to kind of guess what's gonna happen.
Okay.
You know, like what's coming next, and we already know.
In the show's defense, I would say basically what they did was show. You know how sometimes they'll show like a trailer, and it's not just the first episode. It's like coming this season or something like that, and that's what they did in the show.
But it's
And even
always
though we-
still vague, though, twin. It's always
Yeah.
still vague, twin.
Yeah, even
You're
though
right.
we hated it in the show, I feel like that I can kind of compare it to that, but it's in the show, so it makes a difference than seeing like this is what could happen and stuff.
Yeah.
So I understand.
This
I
wasn't the
understand.
trailer. This wasn't
Yeah.
the trailer. It was the
This
start
wasn't
of the
trailer.
episode.
That's true. I understand. All right,
And
Ken,
it was
go
so
ahead.
much. It was so
lot.
It was a lot.
much.
It was a
It
lot.
was a lot. Go ahead, Ken. Kick us off with your man.
My man is gonna be Tracy. Tracy means nothing to this show to me.
Kinda like what I
Tracy's
said
son
about
got
Ronnie, man.
killed. Tracy's son got killed in the first 1 or 2 episodes, and that's how Ronnie's character came to prominence. And then, you know, Ronnie was trying to avenge him, and Tracy should go. And this whole thing, her messing around with, I'm gonna call him Otis Perry. Her messing around with Mr. Perry is adding no value to the show either, man. And this organization she got for, you know, either parents of children that have been killed or whatever her organization is adding no value to the show. It's just giving more time for Dre and Jada, I guess, to have a little bit more screen time because they talking with her. The only reason it's only Tracy is because I couldn't say Jada and Dre also. But Tracy is the number one. Tracy is the number one. Got to go. She even when she was even when they were trying to find.
Oh,
Hold on. My bad. Wrong show. But even when they were trying to look for Jason, she was always cold and stuff to Ronnie, and then they, I think they had one moment together and whatnot. Tracy is not serving the purpose. Trey is my man.
Okay, Ralph, if you don't mind, let me go ahead and give my man because it's in the same spirit as Ken's. My man, so if they had to let me do my man the way I wanted to do it, Fellowship, then I would have had a group of mans. However, since I had to fall back to one man, my man for this show and potentially this season, it's going to be Jada. I don't need Jada honestly in this show. Like
no one does.
She can show up to be Emmett's babysitter or give Emmett a word of advice here, there, or the other. But I don't need to see Jada's dating life. I don't need to see Jada messing with a masseuse. I don't need to see Jada, Tracy, and Dre talking together. And I hope nobody takes this the wrong way. We got several women of prominence in this show that we want to see their story, like Keisha and Tiff. But I don't care for Jada's purpose in this show currently. I could have a change of heart, but from this show, from last season with the masseuse and stuff, and then the masseuse being back in her life this time, honestly I can do without Jada in this show. She's my man. Big Ham, finish it off.
Jada, I'm man. Bro, she serves no purpose.
Yes. None whatsoever.
She adds nothing and she subtracts nothing.
Nope.
Really no purpose, man. I guess this is gonna be a comic relief thing, or maybe there's a segment of Black Twitter who wants to see what dating at her age is like or something, but I don't know. But
it's just in jive with us.
Yeah, she's my man as well. Now the Tracy thing, I think that's the power of social media, because I think a lot of people just like, man, this woman is beautiful. Why aren't they using her in the show? And they trying to write her in some kind of way, but like Ken said, that storyline not really making sense to me at this point in time. Like, why he just gonna choose her to be in a love triangle right now this time?
All of a
why
sudden
he became a mayor? I don't understand that. Yeah, it's Jada. I think out of Jada, Tracy, and Candy Burns' character.
Roslyn.
First of all, I'm never gonna hate her. I've been in love with Candy since she was in Escape, so I'm never gonna hate that. But I think Jada has the least amount to add to the show. She's my man.
Yeah, I think Tracy has Tracy and Jada
basically on par. Yeah, Jada actually maybe a little bit better with Emma's mom.
Jada's at least Emma's mom. Tracy has no value.
Well, she's Emma's mom, but all this she been doing, at first she was dating Ronnie halfway, so that was kind. But the only thing she been doing with Emmett is either talking bad about him living with her, or talking bad about his relationship, or being upset about keeping his kids. Yeah. So it's like, okay, for 3 seasons, okay, she been doing the same thing. So now she's going to start dating the dude who gave her a happy ending. He's supposed to care now.
Was Tracy even on season 2 and 3?
She was always in and out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she was more so in the last season than the season before, though.
Yeah. She was more in 3. She was in 2.
She was in 2 because I can't remember the dude named Q. Q and her used to date, so that's why she had a little bit of it in 2. Yeah.
But it was just barely him talking to her.
And then she was in there because the grandchild.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
Jason's that was season 3 though, right? That was season 3 with Ronnie though. Right?
No, both of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right, fellowshippers. This was our first time reviewing The Chi, a show that we love, a show that we're planning to continue to review. So make sure if you watch this show, you check out what we have to think and let us know your comments. And if you watch it, make sure you subscribe. Big Ham, go ahead and close us out.
Thanks for checking out the Fellowship Hall with the Twins and Ralph. As always, you can watch us here on our YouTube page. Follow us as well on the Facebook page, the Fellowship Hall. You can follow me on social media. Facebook is Raphael Hammond. Twitter and Instagram is Hamdog22. Until then, check us out. We got The Shy. Got some other shows coming as well. Hey, keep fellowshipping with us and be blessed.
Be blessed, fellowshippers.